one step beyond you. Only one step, only one step, one step beyond you. Only one step, only one step, one step beyond you.
I just challenge you for a second to ask yourself, have you took the time to think about what have they gone through to get to where they are? What things have this woman experienced so that you can see her beauty from the inside out, from the outside in? What kind of experiences that this brother had? It just made me think about all the pains that people have and that they've gone through. Because I know you know somebody that deals with depression. And in their moment of depression, they shut down and they shut the world out. And they think that they're all alone and nobody is there for them. They don't come out the house for days. And when they do come out the house, they put clothes on, put makeup on. And when people see you go, oh, you beautiful. But guess what they did in order to come out the house? They put a mask on.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is your girl, Erica Lynn, and welcome back to One Step Beyond You, home of motivation and inspiration. You guys know that each week I give you different topics that will inspire and motivate you onto the next level of your life. This week, you guys, I'm back. I haven't been on in the last 2 weeks, and I'm so excited to have returned. I've had to struggle through some issues. I've had some health issues, and I didn't want to let everyone know until I knew exactly what was going on. Last Friday, I went to the hospital, actually, and I had a biopsy done on my neck, and I don't know if you guys can see the scar and the bruising that's on my neck. And so they had to take some fluid and so forth out of my neck and test some things. So I went to the doctor on Tuesday and I got the test results, and the doctor said that they were benign. Thank God. Praise God. Yay. So I'm super, super excited because like I said, I've been experiencing some challenges health-wise, and I wanted to just be able to move forward, but I wanted to be able to move forward in a healthy way, because I don't want to get on this camera and then I'm falling apart or I'm not feeling well. And so I was able to, be seen medically, and so thank God that the test results were benign, and my body had to go through a few little changes, but I'm human just like the rest of us, and I'm here, and I'm back, and I'm better than ever, right? And so this morning, I just want to talk to you guys about being stuck, and 3 ways that you can move forward in your life after being stuck. It's just on an everyday basis that people have issues, relationship issues. They have work-related issues. They have issues with their kids. They have financial issues. And a lot of these things that we go through sometimes hinders us mentally, and it causes a blockage in our mental capacity in which we relate to in a form of being stuck. And so once we get in that place of being stuck, how do we move forward from being stuck? And how do we do it in a good mental space? How do we do it so that when we move forward, we figured out what was going on so that we don't have to go through that same scenario again? And if we do come across it again, how we, the way we learn to address it so that our place of being stuck can move a lot faster, right? So one of the things that I want you guys to write down is we need to identify what it is that's causing us to be stuck. What is the reason why we were stuck? Did you just wake up on the wrong side of the bed this morning and you just said, I'm going to work today and I don't want to be present. I just want to be there in body, but not be there in mind, spirit, and soul. And then when things are not going right on your job, then you feel like you're stuck. What about in your relationship? People have relationship issues, and you just feel like you and your mate is not, you guys are not on the same path, that you're not moving forward. You don't know why you're snapping at him and he's snapping at you. Well, let's identify what is the reason why you guys are snapping at each other. How about, a lot of people, they want a nice house, they want a nice car, they want a well-mannered family, they want like that cookie cutter family, with the white picket fence, but yet there is something that they didn't do in the process to get there. In other words, when they was in high school, they didn't do what they were supposed to do, so their grades was lacking. They didn't gain all the knowledge that they needed to gain while they were in school. And so some people who went on to college, they partied like the first 2 years of college, and they didn't take it serious, because you're saying, this information that I'm gathering, how is it going to benefit me in the real world? Because we are taught that some of the things, and I'm not going to say everybody, but this new generation, let's put it like that, the new generation is taught that they don't need school, that they don't need to, the professors don't know anything about the real world. Granted, they don't know anything about your personal life and your family life, but in order for them to become professors, they went through the process to get to where they are. So in other words, when you're not receiving that cookie cutter family or that white picket fence, so what could be one of the reasons? One of the reasons is you need more education. You need more education, and not just in school, but you need financial education. You need credit education. You need to learn how to balance a checkbook. You need to learn how to actually log into DTE and Consumers Energy and pay your light and gas bill. You need to educate yourself. So education comes in so many forms, and so when we're breaking down and identifying why you're not getting the results that you want or you desire, that's possibly because you're not properly educated on the things that you need to have learned in order to get you to the process. Now, I'm not saying some people don't stumble up on something good by a fluke, like you got the people who win the lottery, and so now they have all these millions of dollars, right, and they're able to get a house, a car, or whatever. However, the problem is because they were not properly educated on finance and how to invest and how not to get this $1 million today and be broke tomorrow. Because just face it, if you have never had $1 million, you're going out and you're buying a house, a car. Let me get my mama something. Let me get my sister something. Then you look up, you $500,000 in the hole, and you owe the IRS on taxes. But if you're not educated, then this is something that can cause you to be stuck. And if it causes you to be stuck, see, the thing is, something like this, when it causes you to be stuck, it will not only, hinder you at that point in your mental capacity, right? However, but it would totally mess up your confidence. And thank goodness for my technical support person. He's fantastic. However, he had to identify, right, what is the problem, else I would have been stuck still talking, and you would have heard my mouth moving. I mean, not heard it, see my mouth moving, right, but no sound. No sound coming out. So shout out to my technical support guy. I give praise to him because he doesn't want to get up this early in the morning, but because there's a greater purpose for what we're trying to do, then he knows that this is the process of the way we have to go in order to get there. So in other words, so we were talking about identifying things that cause you to be stuck. And so we've identified that the reason why you haven't gotten that cookie cutter house is because you are not properly educated on the things you need to know about finances and paying your mortgage and expenses for the insurance, just all of these things. But just even being stuck, like, I'll give you another example. So there was times some years back where I just did not get what I wanted out of life. Yes, I raised my kids. Yes, I was out of the abusive situation. However, I was just totally stuck. I was stuck at a point where I was coming out of college. I was finishing college. And I finally had my own place. I wasn't subdued under a spouse, feeling like a spouse had to take care of me or anything. So I was a single mom, and many of you guys know my story. I had gone back to college at 35 years old. And so when I come out of college, although I accomplished receiving my degree and receiving my certifications, I still felt stuck. And the reason why I felt stuck is because I felt like at 35 and 38 years old that I should have been a lot further in life than where I was at. And when you look on social media, we talk about how we see social media as like, wow, they got a great life. Wow, they're doing this. Wow, they're doing this. Or when I look at my peers, my friends that surrounded me, and I see how much they've accomplished in life, not knowing their story or what they have gone through to get there, it caused me to be stuck. But it was a mental stuck, because if you think about it, I went through a 10-year abusive marriage. I went through some other things of just being low down. And a lot of these things that you will read in my book, The 7 Techniques of Healing. So I've overcome all of those challenges that I had. And then I go to college at 35 years old. And then I go to a certification program to become certified in medical billing and coding. And then my oldest son, he was like 18, 19 at the time. Then we were going to school together. But why was I still feeling stuck? I had to identify what was the reason that I felt stuck. And then once I realized and found out what was the reason why I felt stuck, then I was able to move forward. So when I began to move forward, I had to figure out, what do I need to help me move forward? So that's step 2. Once we identify what it is that is causing you to be stuck or causing you to feel like you're stuck, now let's figure out what you need to move forward. So perhaps you may need counseling or just an ear for someone to talk to. There's people who have gone and who are in domestic violence relationships. And if you have gone through it and you're coming out of it, now what is the next step? Let's get some counseling. Let's get you someone you can talk to. So, call me up. Hey, Erica Lynn, I just need somebody to talk to. I've gone through this issue and so on and so forth. And absolutely, I'm going to listen to you, and I'm going to give you great counsel. I'm going to give you the information that I've learned, that I was trained on. However, knowing that next step is what takes you from the process of being stuck to on the path of being unstuck. So after you get counseling, and then I talked about someone who's not properly educated. Okay, so in order to move forward, you say, okay, I'm not educated on the finances. So, okay, well, let me take a financial course, or let me hire a CPA. Do you guys know, do you guys know if you hire a CPA, let me just put it like this, if you hire a CPA and you don't want to go to school to learn how to be an accountant, but there are certain things that you want to know, and you don't want to listen to your girlfriend teach you, or you don't want Pookie and Baby to tell you the information that he learned, or you don't trust the information that comes from someone else. If you hire a certified or licensed CPA, write down all the questions. It's going to cost you a little bit of money. Not too much, because you might luck up and get a good CPA, and you begin to ask the CPA all the questions that you have, and they're going to teach you to the best of, they're going to teach you what they know, and they're going to teach you in a way that best fits you. So, for example, learning how to balance a checkbook. Yes, you could go to the bank and they'll teach you, but your CPA is going to teach you on top of learning how to balance the checkbook, learning about the finances surrounded about your house, learning how to look at your finances as a whole, so that you're not just jumping out here making rogue decisions. Like, I know so many people that just says, I want this house, I want this car, let me go buy these shoes, let me go buy this dress, let me go, and you're maxing out the bank account, you're maxing out the credit cards, you have no, if an emergency come up, you have no money saved for an emergency. What if your tire is flat and you get a flat tire, or something goes wrong with your car? You don't have anything saved because you were not properly trained or taught. So you want to go somewhere that you can get the necessary education you need. And if that means going back to school, then I advise you to go back to school. And I listen to a lot of successful people. There's a lot of successful people who don't have an education, like Steve Harvey. He doesn't have a college degree. However, he is very successful and very financially well off. However, but that was the path that Steve took. That was the journey that Steve took. We don't all necessarily know what all sacrifices he had to make in order to get there. And then you ask yourself, am I willing to make those same kind of sacrifices to get me to where Steve Harvey is? Or am I willing to take a route that best fits me, meaning to educate myself, go to college, go to school, speak to someone who can train me and coach me, teach me, be willing to go through the steps and learn. I was listening to an interview, and this interview was pretty old. It was an interview between Warren Buffett and Jay-Z. And if you guys, I listened to a lot of different people. I listen to a lot of Warren Buffett. I listen to a lot of Damon Dash, because I've learned I've grown to learn to love Damon Dash, because Damon Dash is a self-made man and he thinks outside the box. So one of the things I had to learn about successful people is that they do think outside the box. They set their own rules, and a lot of successful people have mentors or someone who has guided them in the process, but they just don't think. They're like part of that 1% of people who just think differently. Bill Gates is that way, but we'll get into that another time. I'm telling you guys, I be on some different I'm on some different stuff in 2020. And so anyway, let me get back to topic. So we figured out one of the things, some of the reasons that are causing you to be stuck. You've identified it. Now you had to move forward. You have to understand what you need to move forward, whether it's counseling, going back to school, getting out of that toxic relationship, because you may love your spouse, you may love your wife, you may love your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, and not saying that when you guys were together that there were not some good times. But if you find your relationship to be more toxic than helpful, then the next step in moving forward would be to get out of that relationship, get out of that toxicity, because it's no fun being in a relationship that's toxic. It's draining. It causes you to be stuck. It causes you to not be able to move forward, because you're always on tense and worried about what the other person is thinking and what the other person is saying and what the other person is going to do. And if you guys are not moving forward together and helping each other together, having a plan together, then it's time for you to move forward and work on you to get you whole. So the last thing that I want to touch on this morning is, when you do step 1 and 2, identify and move forward, step 3 is have confidence in your decision. Have confidence in the choices that you make. See, confidence, I went through a period in my life where I didn't even realize that I didn't have confidence in myself. So everybody in the world, on the streets, like, oh, we love Erica Lynn. She's nice, she's happy, she's smiling. But down in the inside, I was like falling apart all in the inside. And I didn't understand why. I didn't understand what was going on. But of course, you guys know I went through the 7 techniques and I began to work on myself. I began to do what the 7 techniques has taught me to do so that I could move forward. But when I began to move forward, the level of confidence that came from my aura, it was just like, wow, we like Erica Lynn. She's so confident. But I had to go through the process in order to become confident, right? One of the things, and I'll share this with you, I hated the sound of my own voice. When I decided to do this podcast, and I would record myself because I didn't know what I was going to say. I just knew I had a message. I knew I had knowledge that I wanted to get out here and share. I knew that I wanted to inspire others. I knew that I wanted to empower, impact, make a difference, and change your life. However, I hated the sound of my own voice. My mother, she's probably on the live. She loves me to death. My mother will go through hell and hot water for me. But after every podcast, she would call me and she was like, Erica, just the way you talk, it really irritates me. And I'm like, well, Mama, I gotta be myself. I can't help it if I'm the down home girl. But that doesn't mean, it doesn't mean that I'm still not myself. All my mother was saying to me is, if this is what you're going to do, and you are going to be yourself, because your genuineness will always come out in you, but just do it clearly, so that people can understand you and you can appeal to all audiences, because I'm around all different type of people. I'm around CEOs, I'm around my friends, I'm around people of all different ethnicity, education levels, poverty, non-poverty. I don't care who you are, I'm going to kick it with you. And when I kick it with you, I'm going to be myself. But in the process of being myself, I had to learn how to communicate. So in other words, all my mother was telling me was learn how to communicate better, become a more effective communicator, so that when you share your information and your message with people, then they'll get something out of it, and you'll gain something out of it. So when I went through that process of learning how to become a better communicator, my confidence just shot through the roof. I'm telling you, if my phone rang today like, hey, Erica, we need you to speak in front of 50,000 people. Okay, yeah, I'm going to shake a little. However, my confidence is there that with enough practice and going over my speech or going over what I'm going to say, that I can get in front of 50,000 people and I can totally change their day, change their minds, change their world with the message. Whatever message that God puts in my belly for me to give to them, I can make a difference. But that all came with confidence. So that's what I say to you. When you're stuck and you're trying to move forward, let's focus on the 3 things. Let's identify what the problem is. Let's figure out what you need to move you forward. And when you begin to move forward, let's do so with confidence, with an air about yourself. When people just say, oh, it's just something about you. You look fantastic. You look wonderful. And so, and I want you guys to do it with the utmost confidence, with the utmost belief, with the utmost that you can do anything that you set your mind to. You know, I tell you, one of the things that I like about this show is because I'm so transparent and I allow people to give me feedback. I remember I received a phone call from someone. They said, I like your show. It's really good, Erica, but your show just seems like it's just catered to women. And I said, well, no, my show is for men and women. And this guy, it was a gentleman, he says, but the examples that you give is only based from a woman's standpoint. And I said, well, those are the standpoints that I'm most familiar with, right? I'm a woman. These are issues I've gone through. But when I identified what the problem was I didn't really take the time to get out and speak to enough men to learn more of their issues, so that when I speak, now I have examples for men, now I have examples for women, and then we're both unified. But that was through me going through the process of being stuck to unstuck. So just think about it. As you go through the day, today, and the rest of your life, think about what you need to do from going to stuck to unstuck. What do you need to do to identify? What do you need to do to move forward? And how can you do it with such confidence? You know, you guys, as many of you all know, the 7 Techniques of Healing Masterclass is coming up. And when I developed the 7 techniques, it was just such a phenomenal thing. It made a very big impact on my life. It was just 7 ways that I could use every day in my life. 7 ways to grow. 7 bonuses that can benefit me. 7 things that I can teach other people. And so I want you guys to sign up for the 7 Techniques of Healing Masterclass. I had to move the masterclass from February 22nd. It is now March 28th. And the location, the link will be attached to this video. I need you guys to come and support and learn about the 7 Techniques of Healing Masterclass, because I don't want you to think that the 7 techniques is just for people who've gone through trauma. But the 7 techniques is people who go through everyday issues. 7 techniques is things that you could utilize in different areas of your life. I'm telling you, this was not something that I just was like, okay, let me write anything down on paper. God began to import things in my mind, and I just began to write. And as I began to write and I began to go through it and learn and challenge and utilize it on other people, it works. I'm telling you guys, you do not want to miss out on the 7 Techniques of Healing Masterclass. But before I get ready to get out of here, make sure you guys follow me on Instagram. I'm One Step Beyond You on Instagram. On YouTube, also I'm One Step Beyond You on YouTube. And if you're watching this video on any other source, make sure you follow me on One Step Beyond You on Facebook as well. If you guys want to know how can we get signed up for this masterclass, well, it's very simple. Dial 888-443-1112. 888-443-1112, or go to the website www.onestepbeyondyou.com. I want to see you guys all there at the masterclass. I've come across so many people who are grieving from the loss of a loved one, and they're like, Erica, I'm just exhausted from grieving. I want to move forward. But I'm telling you guys, give the masterclass a chance. God didn't help me design this for no reason. He helped me design this for you. I used the 7 techniques on myself, and look at me. I'm confident. I am so beautiful. Look, y'all know I got to crack a joke, right? But anyway, make sure you guys sign up. Give us a call. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you all there at the masterclass. It is going to be a phenomenal event. So leave your comments below. Say, Erica, how can I sign up for the masterclass? What do I need to do to get me there? And if that's not efficient, give us a call or go to my website. All the information is there. I thank you guys for supporting me and being here with me while I went through my health challenges. I'm back. I might be a little bruised up, but it's okay, because what did the doctor say? It's benign. Thank God. And God bless you all for joining me this week on One Step Beyond You. And just remember, it only takes just one step beyond you. God bless you. I'll see you guys next week.
Only one step, only one step.